Hey guys, 9th of July. Trying to stay out of the fray. I'm in my shed. Had a viewer ask me a little bit about how I clean my artifacts, and I thought I'd go over a little bit of how I do it. My hard stones, I normally will use a Murphy's oil soap diluted in water, and I'll use a soft to medium brush. It helps condition the stones. Kind of gives them a little bit of a a kind of finish that kind of hides a little bit of patina on them. And the only thing about it is it takes about 2 to 3 weeks for the stones to completely dry out, but they really do look pretty nice when you do get done cleaning with them and they dry out, compared to some of the other detergents I've used. And it's just a really mild detergent, so it's a good product to use for cleaning your artifacts. However, with pottery, I did tell this viewer, you got to be really careful. I've got a couple pieces here. This is one I found up in Two Forks. This is a very old piece of pottery. It's probably somewhere between 3,000 to 4,000 years old. This is thin, very thin. It's a basket press pottery. You can kind of see the weave marks here that were in the basket. It's got fiber in it. It does have a little bit of quartz ground in with it also. But a piece like this, I would recommend that you would just probably rinse it in just with warm water if you can get away with that. Don't use a brush. If you put a brush on this piece here, within no time, these basket marks on this piece would be gone. These are really delicate pieces, real fragile. And this was a creek find, and I don't know how it survived as much as it did. But so if you can get away with it, just warm water, not even any soap. You might want to use a very soft toothbrush, but don't use it for very long. I found this last week. I kind of had a hard time trying to figure out what this piece was. Eventually I figured it out. This is a part of a bowl, a pipe bowl. That's where the stem went in. It's broke out here, but that's the inner part of the bowl there. Now this piece is Native American. It's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 years old. It's not that old. Very thick pottery, being that was a pipe bowl. And the techniques changed over time. It got better and better at making the pottery more durable. But you can see the scribe work on this piece here. Again, if you're going to be using a brush, you will wear that scribe work off in no time flat. So I wouldn't recommend you use a brush on this if you can get away with it. But I thought that was a pretty neat piece. It took me a while to figure it out, but that's what it is. It's the inner part of a bowl, pipe bowl. So try not to use brush at all on these, and no detergent if possible on your pottery pieces. We've got start up here. This is a piece here I had a little bit of difficulty with, and I think the reason why they chipped out this top part. And I said, well, that's something they do a lot with grinding stones. But the more I looked at this piece, I've come to the conclusion it's a hammer stone. I don't think it was used for grinding. It was a really nicely worked piece. It's a perfect oval. Solid quartz. You can see the wear in the front, and that's where they struck this stone. So it's flat on the bottom, but I just don't think it was used as a grinder. Pretty sure it's going to be a hammer stone. What you see a lot up here with this culture is you'll see where they just use one half of the stone to strike. On these hammer stones, you won't see a lot of them that are worked all the way around, that are struck all the way around. You very rarely see that. So those guys that are out there that saying that that's the way it's got to be and the way it's got to look, hate to disappoint you, but up here most of the time it was just a half, maybe 2/3 of the stone that they used to strike with. Really nice grinder, blackstone grinding piece here. Just a grinding surface here. Really good shape. There's a little bit of staining where the fingers were up here. Here along the side. Really nice piece. Found this maybe 20 foot from this other piece here that I just showed you. I think this is more of a polishing piece. Very similar shape. It's a polishing surface there. Found this up in the ankle break. Been up there one time in about 1.5 years. Got up there a couple weeks ago when the water was low. It's up again. This is a piece of really hard, solid piece of schist. Really pretty piece. See where it's been chipped on the sides, chipped out. The back here. We just held this thing on the sides and then ground it down. And I'm not real sure what they use this schist for. I think maybe body paint. They might have mixed it with some body paint, or maybe some kind of dietary supplement of some kind. I really don't know, but pretty neat piece. Here's a piece of dual material here. It's a sandstone on one side and granite on the top. Kind of polished and worked down here on the top. They really used this piece and smoothed it down. Another polishing piece. This is a black stone here, a little black stone piece. Got a little bit of a thumb notch there. Use this all around this edge. It's a beautiful piece. Hard to find them like this. This is a big blackstone grinder. This piece I actually dug out of the bottom of the creek. I saw just a corner of it sticking up, and another really nice piece. You don't find them intact so much. These blackstone pieces are very hard and they're kind of brittle, and they'll break pretty easy. That's a grinding surface there. Just a really nice piece. A lot of work done on this stone. Here's another little polishing piece, a little linear piece here. That's this polishing surface here. That's a right-handed piece. This is your thumb groove right in here. A little bit of a dimple and a little staining up there. That's where the finger would kind of press down to give you a little bit of pressure on that polishing point right there. Let's go to this one here. This is a really old piece here. It's a little polishing piece too. Well, it's not that little, but this is an old piece. This is made of sandstone. There's your polishing surface here. It's a right-handed piece. It's notched out right here. See the staining in there? That's where your thumb would go. Fingers would wrap on this side. Old piece. A little crack in it, but it's a left-handed piece here, sandstone. You guys that follow me, this is a very familiar shape. You'll see these a lot like this. It's a thumb notch there. Notched on this side for your fingers. Similar piece here. This is a really coarse sandstone, very coarse. They've got it notched out on the top there, again for your finger to apply some pressure on it. It's your grinding surface. It's a right-handed piece. Stained up there. And I have no idea. A little pyramid piece. It's a type of sandstone. It's white, almost a white sandstone, or it's either that or soapstone, one or the other. I like a little staining on it, like fire stain on it, but I don't know. I don't know if this is like a pestle or there's a little wear on it on the bottom, a little wear on the top. It's cut out all the way around, right at the bottom here, all the way on three sides here. Never seen anything like it. I don't know. That's the thing I like about this tool hunting. Is almost every time you go out, you find something different. Clean this piece up. I knew it was all chipped out into like a bowl. And that's the way it dried out. So they use this thing for something. It's got a lot of staining in there. For what, I don't know. Paint maybe of some kind. It's chipped out right here. It's like for your fingers. To hold it like this. No, it's not a geode. Oh Lord, got a little fire stain there. It's kind of getting back to the pottery. This piece here is a pottery trowel. You see a little dimple right here. And this piece would be used for making this type of pottery, the basket press pottery. It's an old tool. It's beveled on the end here. So what they would do is they would line that basket full of clay and they would press that clay into the basket on the inside all the way around until they had that whole inner part of the basket covered with clay. And then they would set the basket in a fire and burn the basket away, and you would end up with a clay pot. And normally they were pretty thin, like this this piece here, because they didn't have a really good gauge of how to how thick that they were lining that basket with clay. So a lot of times they would end up really thin like this. As time went on, they started using a coil method. They would coil up clay like this and start putting them in rings and making clay pots that way. But anyway, that's an old tool. Been around a long time, 3,000–4,000 years. This piece here, I don't know if it was a type of silt. Very symmetrical. I don't think it was some type of silt. A little dull right here, pretty sharp back here on this end. See where they ground it down right in here. Really nice oval piece here. This is a grinder, and this is a dual material. You've seen this before too if you follow me. They love to get this black stone with maybe a quartz layer running through it, and this had that. And they use it as a grinder, and they ground this quartz layer completely off. And this probably was just discarded over time. The quartz is a lot harder, but at some point in time they put a lot of work into making this thing. Perfect oval, polished, and had that quartz layer and just ground it off. I have no idea on this piece. I don't know if it's like a little snake effigy or what. I know it's not natural. It's like a soapstone material. And we'll finish up with a couple more little polishing pieces here. Been held just like that. Left hand piece. There's a grinding surface there. You can see the finger staining on this thing. And a little duck head polishing piece. Found these up on the gravel bar at the fish dam site. Little finger held piece. Alright guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope you guys had a good holiday, and I will get you something else to look at here soon, and we'll talk with you later.